Coco Gauff donates entire $11.9 million to rebuild homeless shelter in Florida. No one should sleep on the streets. The early October morning sun over Delray Beach shimmered across the Atlantic like molten gold. The air was soft, peaceful, the kind that wrapped around you like a prayer. But inside a small community center on Atlantic Avenue, the quiet was broken by a wave of emotion. Dozens of people, volunteers, journalists, and families who once had nowhere to go, stood frozen, eyes wet, hands pressed over hearts. At the center of it all stood Coco Gauff, barely 21, her poise steady yet her eyes glistening with quiet fire. In front of her, a projector screen glowed with one simple statement. I am donating my entire 2025 season earnings, $11.9 million, to rebuild the Sunrise Haven shelter. No one should sleep on the streets. A silence swept through the room, like a tide receding before a storm of applause. The young tennis superstar, who just a month ago had lifted trophies in electrified stadiums from Beijing to New York, now stood humbly, holding no racket, only purpose. From grand slams to ground zero. When Coco first heard about Sunrise Haven, it was through her mother, Candy. The shelter, located in Palm Beach County, had long been a refuge for homeless families and abused women. But last year, tragedy struck. An electrical fire tore through the building, leaving 46 residents without a place to stay. The story didn't make international headlines. It was just another quiet tragedy in a world full of louder ones. But Coco saw it. She saw a local news clip of a mother clutching her baby, crying, "We have nowhere to go." That image haunted her. She was fresh off her semifinal run at the Australian Open, high on adrenaline success, but when she returned home to Florida, she couldn't shake that feeling of guilt. Why them and not me? I just kept thinking, Coco later said in an interview. If I was born into a different life, that could have been me or my brothers. That woman's tears, they felt like mine. The seed of compassion. Before fame, before endorsements. Coco's family had always believed in community before comfort. Her father, Corey, once told her, "We rise by lifting others." Those words became her compass. As a child, Coco would join her parents in volunteering at local charities, serving meals or collecting blankets. Her first big tennis check at age 15, she donated part of it to buy school supplies for underprivileged kids in Palm Beach County. But this was different. This was her stepping into something far beyond a donation. She wasn't just writing a check. She was rebuilding lives. The announcement that shook the world. On the morning of October 4th, 2025, Coco stood behind a wooden podium at the Delray Community Hall. The media expected her to announce a new sponsorship or tournament schedule. Instead, they witnessed one of the most powerful acts of generosity in modern sports history. This year has blessed me in ways I could never imagine, she began, her voice trembling but sure. But what's the point of winning if the people around you are still losing? I want this year's prize money, every cent, to go toward rebuilding the Sunrise Haven shelter. Gasps filled the room. Reporters scribbled furiously. Cameras flashed. On social media, hashtag Coco for Change began trending within minutes. Her coach, Diego Moyano, stood at the back, smiling quietly. She's a champion not just because of her game, he later said, but because of her soul, the vision. The $11.9 million was more than just money. It was hope, blueprint, and revolution combined. Coco partnered with Habitat for Humanity, local architects, and a team of sustainability experts to design a state-of-the-art shelter complex that would do more than just house people. It would empower them. The new Sunrise Haven Center for Renewal will include 72 family units, each with solar-powered energy systems. A child care and learning center to help mothers pursue work or study. A sports and wellness zone, including a small tennis court Coco personally funded for youth programs. Job training rooms, connecting residents to local employers. Coco personally visited the empty plot where the new shelter will rise. She walked barefoot on the charred earth and whispered, "We'll build again." Global ripples. Within hours, messages poured in from across the world. Billie Jean King posted, "Coco Gauff reminds us that greatness is not measured by trophies, but by the hearts you touch." Brava. Barack Obama shared her video with the caption, "Leadership looks like this." LeBron James wrote, "This is what being a GOAT truly means." Salute, young Queen Crown fired up. Even Serena Williams, Coco's idol, texted her privately, "Proud of you. You've taken the baton and run farther than any of us imagined." The world wasn't just inspired. It was moved to action. In less than a week, corporate partners matched her donation, pushing total funds past $35 million. The quiet struggles behind the smile. But this decision wasn't made lightly. Coco's agent, Jeff Donaldson, initially resisted. "It's your entire season's earnings. Are you sure?" he asked. She smiled. "Jeff, I'll make more money, but they can't make another life." Behind the scenes, Coco's parents worried too. Not about the money, but the mental toll. The more famous she became, the more the world demanded from her. "We just wanted her to be happy," her mom said. But when she told us what she wanted to do, we saw a peace in her eyes. And that was all the reassurance they needed. The night before her announcement, Coco couldn't sleep. She sat on her balcony overlooking the still waters of Lake Ida, moonlight shimmering on the surface. She thought about her journey, winning her first WTA title at 15, becoming a U.S. Open champion, breaking into the world top 3. Then she thought of the people she'd seen at the shelter, their faces, their laughter despite everything. She whispered to herself, "This is the match that matters." And for once, it wasn't about aces or backhands. It was about healing. The rebuild begins. By late October, bulldozers rolled in. 1 year later, by October 2026, the Sunrise Haven Center stood proudly. Gleaming white walls, green gardens, laughter echoing to the hallways. Coco returned for the ribbon-cutting ceremony, dressed simply in jeans and sneakers. She toured the building, her hand brushing along the fresh paint. Children ran up to hug her. One little girl, maybe 6 years old, looked up and said, "Miss Coco, I have my own bed now." Tears welled up. Coco knelt, hugged her, and whispered, "Never stop dreaming, okay?" When she finally cut the ribbon, the crowd erupted, not in applause, but in love. Epilogue, the legacy of light. Coco Gauff didn't just donate $11.9 million. She rewrote the playbook of purpose. In a time when fame often leads to isolation, she used hers to build connection. She reminded the world that empathy is not weakness. It's the ultimate power. And as she looked out at the new shelter, sunlight spilling across the courtyard, she smiled quietly. Trophies fade, but homes, they last. That's my real victory. The cameras clicked. The world watched. But Coco wasn't performing anymore. She was living her truth. A young woman who turned success into shelter, applause into action, and dreams into bricks of hope. Because for Coco Gauff, greatness was never about winning the world. It was about healing it. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.